Yo, what's up, everybody? As y'all see, man, my boy Nars sitting in the chair looking crazy right now, but that's okay. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna work our magic, man. So, of course, start out by combing your client's hair out, and then we're gonna break right off into the tutorial. So, we grab our 1.5 blade, and we're going with the grain. And the reason I jumped into this tutorial like this is because, again, it's been over a month since my boy has a haircut. So, I wanted to see how his hair would react. And I wanted to keep the top of his fade as dark as possible. So once I got an idea of how his hair was reacting, I kept my same 1.5 blade on, and I started to go against the grain. And of course, you guys can see it gives it a different type of look. But as I'm getting closer to his dreads, notice I'm not going all the way to the top. I want to keep the area as dark as possible. And again, you never want to cut into anybody's dread. So then I break off into a number 2 blade, and I'm still going up, but I'm not going all the way into his dreads. Because again, he may go get a retwist after his haircut, and his braider or his loctician, they can incorporate that afro part into his dread. So I wanted to be considerate of that as well. So as you guys can see, we're just getting it consistent, and then we're gonna come back and smooth it down. But to break off into it, we grab our wall balding clipper, and we're going in a rainbow formation. I wanted to give my boy a different type of look, man, because I'm not gonna lie, I have a couple clients that have the same hairstyle, and I never want them to be rocking the same haircut, if that makes sense. Like, I want each of my client to, they can have the same haircut, but I want each of their cuts to be different, if that makes sense, right? So we're going with a rainbow formation and just cleaning it up. Now I grab my JRLs, the level all the way open, and keeping it consistent, going up about 1 inch. And after every few strokes, you want to take a comb or either a brush and lay that hair right back down. And man, to my beginner barbers that's watching this video, that's the biggest thing, man. Do not cut everybody the same. You want to make sure, even if it's the same haircut, you do something to make each haircut stand apart from every other haircut that you're doing. And as you guys can see, just keeping it consistent, man. And new barbers, please remember, man, keep a comb or a brush in your hand. I'm telling you, it'll make your job a lot easier. Then we grab our 1 guard with the level all the way open, and we're going up about 1 inch again. And if you're new to this channel, man, I want you guys to know now, every time that we drop a tutorial over here, everything will be repetition. So no matter what type of guard you got, or whatever type of system or clipper that you're using, the foundation will be the exact same. So just remember that, man, and just rock with me through this fade. I promise you guys, you don't want to miss this one right here. Then we go with the grain just to smooth it back down, because again, I want to keep it as dark as possible. So when we go time to put that line up on it, it's gonna give a nice contrast. And we keep that same number 1 guard with the level open, and we go ahead and close that level up, and we're hitting right up under where we had the level open. And as you guys can see, man, we're keeping it consistent. And I know it's a little hard to see right now. My veteran barbers, y'all can see the fade starting to come together, but I promise y'all, just stay patient, man. If you can make it through this 16-minute video, I promise you it'll be worth your while. And we grab that 1.5 guard with the level all the way open, and we're going up about 1 inch. And the reason I like to keep the same guard on and then close the level up and hit right up under where we just initially were, just to soften that guy line up, so when it's time to really start to fade it and bring it all together, you don't have to work as hard. So same 1.5 guard, level all the way closed. And as you guys can see, starting to come together. And again, man, my boy hasn't had a haircut in, man, over a month. So like I said, this fade right here made me work a lot harder than, the typical haircut, which is okay. You can get clients like that. So now we got a 1/2 guard, the level all the way closed, and we're hitting right up under where we had the level all the way open with our number 1 guard. Man, pretty much my 1/2 guards, they pretty much are my bring it together guards, if that makes sense. So I pretty much use these guards to detail and just bring everything together. Now we halfway. Now it's time to start to raise that fade up. So if you're new to my channel, man, my philosophy is the lower you are in your fade, the more closed your clipper should be. The higher you are in your fade, the more open your clipper should be. So when your blade or your clipper is closed, you're gonna take off a lot more hair. When it's open, you're gonna take off less hair. Like now, it's all the way open, so we can go a lot higher than we would with the level all the way closed. So as you guys can see, we starting to bring it together, man. And my JRLs, they aren't zero gap. This is how they came. I've been rocking with them, man, and they definitely, you know, they definitely deserve to be in my rotation. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of these Clippers. And with that same half guard with the level all the way open, we're just going with the grain to lay the hair back down, man, because again, I want to keep this area as dark as possible. So now we're going with our JRLs with the level all the way closed, and it's time to start fading out that first initial guideline. And again, my JRLs aren't zero gap, so they're not really going to take that line out. They're just going to soften it up, but we'll come back and clean it up. And the way I went about this tutorial is a little different from any tutorial on my channel. I faded this out on camera, and I already faded the other side before we got on camera. And what I'll do is walk you guys through this side right here, and hopefully you guys retain the steps that I'm telling you guys. And then on the back, I want you guys to really go through it. So let me know in the comment section if you were able to follow what I was doing when we started the connected fade. So now we break off into our Andis Masters with the level all the way closed, and now it's time to take that line completely out. I know a lot of y'all probably like, man, this fade looking crazy right now, but I faded it like this for a reason, just for educational purposes, for real. So now we go halfway, and as you guys can see, man, we starting to raise that fade, but also starting to blend that line out. And again, man, I know I said this in my previous video, but when you start to really detail, you never use the entire part of your blade. Now we got the level open, and just pay attention. It may look like I'm using my entire blade, but I promise you guys, I'm only using 2 to 3, maybe 4 teeth of the blade. And again, we're going for that drop fade look. And the only way you're going to achieve that is really the detail and to keep everything nice and tight. So grab a half guard on our Andis purple magnetic guards with the level all the way open, and now it's time to start bringing everything together. And as you guys will see, man, everything is repetition over here. That's the only way you're gonna get better in barbering, man, is to get them shots up. So now level halfway, and you guys can see, man, my masters, they will always be my favorite detailing clip because they just bring the fade completely together, man. And I put the fade blade on mine, so I mean, you know, I know a lot of people don't like that blade, but man, I love it, I'm not gonna lie. And as you guys saw previously, level all the way closed. Now we're doing what it do. And again, man, this will always be my favorite all-time clipper for detailing. There's just something about it. So now again, like I was saying, we're on the back. So I want you guys to be able to just follow through, man. So let me know in the comment section if you was able to really follow what I was doing step by step on this part of the fade right here, man. And again, like I said, the way I'm doing this whole tutorial is just strictly for content and educational purposes, man. So just let me know in the comment section if it worked for you.
HBG, that's crazy.
right, so now it's time to do what we do, man. So as y'all see, my client got a front taper, but I'm not gonna lie, my preference for the front taper is a lot different from a lot of barbers. I like to keep that front taper as dark as possible, so you guys will see me run through it a lot differently than a lot of other barbers, and that's okay. It works for me. That's all that matters. So get our number one guard level all the way open. Now it's halfway. And my main objective is I want that front taper to match the rest of his fade. So as you guys can see, man, just keeping it consistent and just continuing to try to lay that hair down and match the sides. So the level's all the way closed now. And again, this is our one guard. And as you guys see, it's smoothing it down, but not to my liking. So now we have our 1.5 guard with the level all the way open. And it's giving the look that we're looking for. And as you guys can see from this angle right here, everything is starting to flow. Everything is starting to come together. And this is the part of the content that I think everybody loves to see. So just be patient and we can get in our bag in just a few minutes. So as you guys can see, now the level's all the way open, and then we went to halfway. Now it's time to get in that bag. So again, you guys can see, man, my client has a lot of overhang, but that's okay. We still gonna put him in the game, man. I know y'all seen that thumbnail, it was crazy. The best advice I can give you for an edge up, just take your time, be consistent, and to always keep that edge up at its furthest natural point. You know, the big debate right now is barbers charging too much for haircuts, and I will be honest with you guys, there's some barbers out here that's charging outrageous prices, but at the same time, the way the world is just going right now, everything is, you know, just crazy, and barbers have to make a living as well, you know. So at the end of the day too, for my up and coming barbers, just make sure your clients feel like they're getting their money's worth out of their service that you're providing. So, you know, as you guys can see, man, we put my boy in the game. He looking like a whole different person. Man, this right here is just this the part of the cut you gotta get in your bag with, man. I tell anybody, you can give a weak fade, but if you can give a sharp lineup, it will make that haircut look 10 times better, I promise you. In the very beginning of my career, I was giving some blotchy, weak fades, but one thing I can say, my edge ups was always tough, you know? So we get in that bag, man. Just staying consistent, man. And again, my boy, he got one of those more difficult edge ups, but that's okay. Just take your time and be consistent. And one of the other key things I want to tell you guys when it comes to that edge up, find a system that works for you, whether that's spritz, whether that's liquid razor, or it's all different type of methods that you guys can use. Just find a system that works for you and you stick with it. And I promise you, man, the game gonna reward you for every shot that you put up. I promise you. So as you guys can see, we got my boy in the game, man. We getting him in there, man. My boy Nard, and I know a lot of y'all, man, probably already on TikTok, but I would link my boy information in the description. He real big on TikTok, man, doing this thing, so y'all go show my boy some love. Now it's time to do the C cup, and I want you guys to see how you don't have to dig in nobody's line to get that line to pop, to make the cut look enhanced. As you guys can see, I'm just tapping and I'm barely going. My client's skin isn't red, it's not getting cut, he's not bleeding or nothing, but as you guys can see, the cut looks enhanced, man. And like I told you guys in the beginning, this is the look I was going for. One of the most satisfying things as a barber is when your client first sat down in that chair and you envision a cut, or you just envision an outcome result, and then at the end of the cut you get that. It's no better feeling, man. You can't tell me otherwise. So as you guys can see, man, my trim is hidden, and these are original Gold FXs, still going to this day. You know, man, Babies did their thing with these joints, man. I gotta give them their flowers. This joint looking handsome. This is another angle. I promise you guys, there's no enhancements, no paint, no fibers, no nothing. This is all natural. Majority of my clientele is straight natural haircuts, man. So I say 90% is all natural, and the other 10, they like to get a little bit of pop with that enhancement. That's okay. But as a barber, you got to be able to do both. That's very important. So as you guys can see, man, my boy in the game, man, he was looking crazy. If you enjoying this transformation, man, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, man. Join the family. So now to finish the haircut, we break up to our straight razor, and it's gonna bring everything together. And again, this is no enhancements, this is no paint, this is no fibers, this is no pencils, nothing. And that's not me knocking it, but I want y'all to see it's still possible to obtain those looks all natural. It's okay to be a natural barber. It's okay to be a barber that can do enhancements and be natural. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. but just make sure you be able to do both. So as you guys see, just taking our time, man. This right here is gonna bring everything together. It's gonna get that pop. As you guys can see, I'm just taking my time, man. And the best advice for a razor, take your time, stretch your skin, and don't be trying to use big, long strokes, you know? And I'm gonna say pause right there, but y'all know what I'm getting at, man. Just take your time with it and use short strokes, you know? So, as you guys can see, man, get them together. Got that nice ash line, looking like the pencil on my boy. But y'all see my boy looking crazy when he first came in. Now look at my boy. He ready to go on a date. He ready to do what he got to do. And that's what we do over here, man. At the end of the day, when somebody sit in our chair, you got to exceed their expectations, because 9 times out of 10, they already got some insight on you. They didn't see you on Instagram. They didn't heard from a client how good you were. But at the end of the day, when they sit in that chair, you want to make sure that you exceed those expectations every single time, man. So again, I appreciate everybody that stayed through this 16-minute video, and I will see you guys next time.